Picture this, a land where gleaming, futuristic cities literally rise from the world's largest sand desert, where ancient tombs, carved right into stone by a civilization long gone, stand just a drive away from glittering modern skylines. This is a kingdom built on a religious pact from the 18th century, but it's being powered by a wild 21st century ambition. A place that's at the very center of faith for over 1 billion people, and yet it's racing to become a global hotspot for tourism, tech, and entertainment. This is Saudi Arabia, and it is a kingdom of powerful and truly captivating contradictions. So let's dive right into that, because that question, it really hits the nail on the head. It gets to the very heart of what it means to be Saudi today. You see, the Arabian Peninsula is a cradle of civilization. It's ancient. But the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the country we see on the map, it was only officially born in 1932. To really get our heads around this place, we've got to explore the extreme forces that have shaped it, from the very ground under its feet to its faith and, of course, its incredible wealth. And it really all starts with the land itself. The sheer scale and the raw harshness of the environment have forged a really unique and resilient character over thousands of years. This isn't just some pretty backdrop, it is a fundamental character in the story. To give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, just look at this number. Over 2 million square kilometers. That is massive. It's more than 3 times the size of France, which makes Saudi Arabia the biggest country in the entire Middle East and the 12th largest on the whole planet. We're talking about a country that covers about 80% of the vast Arabian Peninsula, a territory just dominated by these epic landscapes. Okay, so you've got all that immense land. But for me, what's truly mind-blowing is this number: 0. That's how many permanent rivers there are in the entire country. It's the largest nation in the world without a single one. For all of history, life here has had to depend on oases and what are called wadis, basically riverbeds that are bone dry most of the year but can turn into raging floods after a rare rainstorm. This scarcity of water has shaped everything, from where ancient trade routes went to today's incredible desalination plants, where, by the way, Saudi Arabia is now a world leader. And believe me, the extremes do not stop there. The landscape is, of course, dominated by the Rub al Khali, the empty quarter, which is the largest continuous sand desert on Earth. But, and here's something a lot of people don't know, Saudi Arabia is also volcano country. Yeah, you heard that right. It's home to more than 2,000 dormant volcanoes and these huge lava fields that create these stunning, almost alien-like black landscapes across the western part of the country. So you have this incredible physical land. Now let's build on that and look at the foundational pillars of the modern state. Because you simply cannot understand Saudi Arabia without getting a grip on the immense power of 2 forces that came about in 2 very different centuries: faith and oil. These 3 dates, they're really the turning points for modern Saudi history. First, back in 1744, a political and religious alliance sets the whole stage. Then, fast forwards to 1932, a warrior king, Abdul Aziz ibn Saud, pulls all his conquests together and officially creates the nation. And then, just 6 years later, in 1938, the discovery of oil changes absolutely everything, not just for the kingdom, but for the entire world. So here's the crucial thing. It's easy to see that 1744 date and just think, okay, ancient history. But it's not. That pact between the political leader Mohammed bin Saud and the religious reformer Muhammad ibn Abd al-Wahhab, that gave the early Saudi state its mission, its ideology. It was the engine that powered its expansion across Arabia. And that deep, intertwined relationship between the ruling family and the religious establishment, it still shapes the country's identity right to this day. And this perfectly illustrates that second pillar. See, before 1938, the kingdom's main source of income was from pilgrims visiting the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. It was a poor country. But the discovery of oil was like striking lightning. It unleashed unimaginable wealth. It funded an incredibly rapid modernization, built entire cities out of the sand, and transformed Saudi Arabia into an economic powerhouse with huge political clout on the world stage.
Okay, but a country is so much more than its geography or its economy, right? It's the people. And today, Saudi society is going through one of the most rapid and profound transformations you can find anywhere on the planet. And it's all being driven by one incredible demographic force.
Just take a look at this. It's pretty staggering. Roughly half of all Saudi nationals are under the age of 25. Now, that's not just a statistic. That is the engine of change. This youth bulge creates enormous pressure for jobs, for new kinds of entertainment, for a future that looks very different from the one their parents and grandparents knew. We're talking about a young, globally connected population with huge ambitions, and their dreams are what's driving this transformation. Now, here's another piece of the puzzle that a lot of people miss: the actual population living in the country. About 40% of the people inside Saudi Arabia are foreign-born residents. This massive community of expatriates is absolutely essential to the economy. They work in every single sector, from construction and healthcare to tech. And what that does is it creates this surprisingly diverse and cosmopolitan social fabric, especially in the big cities. And this all brings us right back to that core idea: contradiction. On the one hand, you have these incredibly deep-rooted traditions. The king's official title is custodian of the two holy mosques, a role with immense religious weight, and strong family and tribal bonds are still totally central to society. But on the other hand, the pace of modernization is just breathtaking. You've got sweeping social reforms, cinemas opening up, a vibrant new arts and music scene, and a huge increase in the number of women entering the workforce. This constant push and pull, that is the defining dynamic of Saudi Arabia today. So with all this change, this tension, where's it all heading? Well, the kingdom's leadership knows that the oil that built the modern nation isn't going to last forever. And that's why they've kicked off one of the most ambitious national transformation plans ever attempted. It's called Saudi Vision 2030, and its goals are nothing short of monumental. The main idea is to completely pivot the economy away from its dependence on oil. That means building a powerful private sector to create millions of jobs for that young population we were just talking about. It means pouring billions into brand new industries like tourism, logistics, even renewable energy. And critically, it means continuing to open up the country socially and culturally to attract investment, talent, and tourists from all over the world, with these jaw-dropping projects like Neom, a futuristic city literally being built from nothing. Which, of course, leaves us with the ultimate question. The kingdom's past was defined by faith, and it was carved from stone. Its present was built on a sea of oil. But its future? That depends entirely on navigating these incredible contradictions, on transforming its economy and its society at a speed that's almost unheard of in history. It is, without a doubt, one of the greatest economic and social experiments of the 21st century. And the final chapter of that story is still being written.